the Fantasy Chairmen podcast, back again, and I am Ben.
I'm Alex.
And I am Chance.
And it is, a week? 1 week until the start of the NFL season.
1 week from Thursday.
Tomorrow will be, officially 1 week.
1 week. Let's go.
Football is coming.
Yeah, baby. That's exciting.
What is the first? It's Tampa Bay and Dallas, right?
Yep.
That's right. That's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah. Reigning Super Bowl champs.
It's going to be
always kick off the season.
Real good one.
Going up against the Dallas Cowboys.
Them boys.
See if Dak is back.
Ben, you made it back from finding the Squatch.
It was a long journey.
Long, swampy journey, right?
It was a real long journey. I know you really liked all his ramblings from waking.
Yeah, for as much as he says, I really, try not to sack on my guys. He was sacking on all of my guys pretty much.
I loved it. I'm thinking I might give the Squatch like a little 10-minute segment each week to just talk about your team.
What? My team? No.
Just down on your team the whole time.
Just to give Squatch thoughts,
Just let him ramble.
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll probably have a little something in there coming from the Sasquatch throughout this NFL season, so keep your ears tuned for that.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yep. 1 week until NFL football starts. We are in the thick of work leagues and family leagues and close friend leagues and home leagues and all those leagues that if you're an avid fantasy football player, podcast listener, researcher, all that stuff, this is the drafts where you can really start to take advantage.
This is it.
And
this
then
is the time.
And then you still end up losing anyway.
Yeah, you still have injuries and stuff. It sucks.
Because that's just how it goes.
That is fantasy football for you.
I saw some guy on Twitter posted a draft that he just did. It was just ridiculous. Like just disgusting. Like I'm talking like Zeke in the 4th type of garbage, CD in the 6th. And like all this stuff, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "There's no way." I'm like, "He's joking on us, like he's fooling at all of us." And then I click into the comments, and he admits, "Yes, this was a 6-team league, and yes, it was with a bunch of buddies that do not take it seriously whatsoever." Oh my gosh! And then somebody goes, "Wow, did Justin Tucker go in like the first round or something?" And he goes, "Yeah, the 102, not joking." So his team was just completely filthy. He said there's like one other guy in this league that takes it like fairly seriously, and then everybody else just like screws off during the draft, and it's just like a completely for fun. Like let's just draft what we draft and see what happens.
Taking a kicker in the first round. I mean, our punishment's kicker in the 3rd round. They're doing the first round on their own. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker, baby, league winner. Alex will tell you. You didn't win the league, though.
I did not know. But he did kick me into the playoffs a few times.
This is true. You were all about old Jay Tucker there for a while.
I even took him in the 3rd one year, and I still made the playoffs. Oh, yeah, kicked me right into it.
Because you got last the year before.
No. I can't remember that year.
Oh, yeah, sure. That being said, thick of draft season right now, so we're going to go and bring you our final mock draft of the off season, and then, boys, we're getting into...
You know what next week is?
In-season
It's week
stuff.
1 preview.
Yeah. We're getting into the in-season casts here.
Week 1 preview.
Oh, man. We're going to be bringing league notes back.
Oh. It is about time.
I hope y'all are ready for that.
Man.
Hopefully we can get a few more call-ins than we did last year. I want everybody ready to trash talk this year.
Yes.
Just saying.
Please.
Because that got epic.
There were some good ones. Really Campbell good. with the songs.
Yeah.
Oh man, the raps.
Some lyrics to it.
Oh.
Classic. Jared and I rap battling. Mediocre rap battles of fantasy. Oh, boy. Yeah, week 1 preview next week, and then we're in the thick of things, boys. Oh, man. So, yeah, we're going to have a fairly standard mock draft for those of you out there, like we said, work leagues and home leagues and family leagues all kicking off. So we're going to have fairly standard settings, half PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 2 flex, and 1 defense. But we are keeping kickers out of it.
Yeah, even your standard leagues, I mean,
they're starting to fall by the wayside.
Yeah, if you can.
7 bench spots, and in today's draft, we're going to be splitting things up a little bit here. I'm going to be taking the top end of the draft, going from the 101 spot. Chance is going to be hitting the middle of the draft, where he's going at the 106, and then Alex is in the back end, picking from the 110, and this is a 12-team mock draft. So we'll hit from all sides of the board here, see if we snipe each other from the opposite end of the board.
Yeah,
if we're looking ahead trying to get some values. We've got some NFL news that we're going to go over here shortly, but we'll see how this news is affecting drafts now and where average draft position is lying for particular players at this point, and then we'll leave you to it. Leave you to your draft prep and getting ready for NFL kickoff next week. But first, we've got some NFL news.
And now it's time for your NFL news.
Oh, it's just a great drop. I love that drop.
It's classic.
That is homemade right there. First bit of news was, man, another young stud running back done for the season. J.K. Dobbins tears his ACL in the final preseason game. Out for the year.
Gross.
My second-round pick in the League of Origin.
That sucks.
And we drafted the Friday before that happened.
Oh, man. And, the funny thing is like we waited, like...
A long time.
We waited a long time. We thought, okay, final preseason game, there shouldn't be any starters really in this game. We were wrong.
Ben was wrong.
We should have waited 1 more week.
Should have waited 2 more days, 3 more days.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that's a bummer. Bump up for Gus Edwards.
Tyson Williams,
rookie running back. We'll see what happens there.
Sophomore running back. He just didn't do anything in his rookie year.
Oh, gosh. Sophomore running back, I guess.
He was with the Ravens last year, I believe, on the practice squad, but didn't do much at all. But he's been touted as going to be backing up Gus Edwards now.
Yeah, he took up that spot over Justice Hill, so he did something right with that practice squad or his preseason. So.
And Justice Hill is still there, too. So far, John Harbaugh has said that he does not want to go out and get anybody, and that he's content with who he has, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Maybe the first couple weeks go by or something could happen in practice. So there were rumors about Todd Gurley, but he has since shot those down. So, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, they still got their leading rusher in Lamar Jackson. So,
Oh, yeah, that too. So all aboard the Gus bus, people. All aboard the Gus bus. Vikings tight end Irv Smith went in. I guess he had some type of little injury coming out of the final preseason game. Looked like it was going to be a meniscus injury. Initial thoughts, they weren't sure if it was either going to be a cleanup procedure or a complete repair. Cleanup procedure was going to be a downtime from anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. A complete surgery repair was going to be 4 to 5 months. Well, it came back as a complete repair, so Irv Smith, done for the year, out 4 to 5 months. So that sucks. Sucks for a few of my teams.
Tyler Conklin.
Yeah,
picked him up late. And
Tyler Conklin. Gosh, get out of here, Chance.
I think it's more like Adam Thielen.
Could be that too, yeah.
Hooked on a Thielen.
Could be some Thielen time.
Thielen good.
Oh my gosh.
I've got a Thielen.
Oh my gosh. All right, enough of that anyway. So Irv Smith out for the year. Do not draft Irv Smith unless you're in a dynasty league. Wait till late. Cam Newton was released by the New England Patriots.
Wow.
Yes, Owen. Wow, indeed.
Wow.
Mac Jones will be the starter.
That was a shocker, the fact that he got released. Not necessarily that Mac Jones was named the starter, because old Bill was taking a while to name a starter. Mm-hmm. And Mac had been looking good in the preseason.
I think, and the whole release part of it, I think he had to, because Mac Jones and Cam Newton are completely different quarterbacks, really. So you can't really have Mac Jones be out there running this style offense that's going to be tailored to him. And if something were to happen, have Cam Newton go out there and say, okay, run that same offense. So I think that was a big part of his release. They did release Brian Hoyer, but then it sounds like they just re-signed Brian Hoyer, so he'll be the backup to Mac Jones. And
Good for you, Brian Hoyer.
Yeah. Stock up for Patriots running backs, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, most all of them, really. I mean, even...
I think Cam had 7 or 8 rushing touchdowns last year within the 5-yard line.
Oh, so, yeah, it was crazy.
So
Damian Harris.
Yeah, Damian Harris season. Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, boy.
James White.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
J.J. Taylor.
Stock definitely goes up, because they were definitely saying, holding back on the Patriots running back, because Cam Newton vultures their touchdowns anytime they get near the goal line. So,
And I also think stock up for all the pass catchers too. I mean, I think Mac Jones is an immediate upgrade with accuracy, and
I think we see the old Patriots offense where they're going to be short throws and let them run.
Yep.
I swear, if Mac Jones dominates the NFL for the next 19 years, I'm going to do something real bad.
No,
real bad.
Bill Belichick is just a sorcerer then, so
it's possible.
It's possible. Oh, man. So Jacoby Myers up, Nelson Aguilar up, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith all up, I would say. I mean, they're all going to benefit from that for sure. T.Y. Hilton is going to be on the IR with a neck injury. Sounds like he had a disc injury, so he had that cleaned up. He's going to be out for 5 to 7 weeks or so.
Yeah, he just got put on IR, and it sounded like a minimum of 3 weeks.
Okay.
These IR designations are kind of confusing me, because we've seen a few of them get
like
put
real
out
short
there.
time frames, which is weird.
I think that has to do with the COVID stuff that's still out there, because I think they shortened IR designations last year because of all the COVID regulations.
Okay, so T.Y. is going to be out. And then wide receiver for the Ravens, Rashad Bateman, put on IR as well. So hopefully he can make it back in time and make an impression for his rookie year. And then last bit of news I got, 53-man roster cutdowns happened yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yep, a lot of hopes and dreams were squandered. Squished into the muck.
Squished into the muck and re-picked back up on practice squads.
A few of them, yes. So if you're in any real deep dynasty leagues, we know that there's some out there that, don't really leave much on waivers and things like that, but be paying attention to some of those signings and practice squad signings and see which of your favorite deep sleeper rookies got picked up and put back onto practice squads, or who made the 53-man rosters, and get them in there. But a lot of those guys, redraft, we're not going to worry about them.
That's right. That's right.
You won't see their names in this mock draft.
No, you will not.
Maybe. Just kidding.
You go for it, Alex.
I may have spaced off for a second. Did you bring up Michael Thomas on IR?
Oh, well, I mean, no, I did not.
Off.
He did not space off, but Michael Thomas officially on IR, so he's been out for a while.
I think it's 6 weeks was his designation, if I remember right.
That sounds about right.
So I think everyone already kind of assumed he was going to be out that long, but it's now official. So
I legitimately thought I spaced off. Not to rag on you, Alex.
Oh, and also another bit of news. Jameis Winston, starting quarterback for the Saints.
Yeah.
He has been named.
Won the job.
He won the job from old Taysom.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a hard time believing that it was ever really going to be Taysom. I don't know. The only thing that kept it going for me was just the love affair there of Sean Payton and Taysom Hill.
I think we could still very easily see Taysom be the starter if Jameis comes out and does old Jameis things and turns the ball over 3 or 4 times in a game, a couple times in a row. Yeah, he's going to be riding the pine really quick.
He got that eye surgery, though, so he shouldn't be doing that anymore, right?
Well,
that's how that works.
Theoretically.
He and Marquez looked really good.
Oh, man.
Really good.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Marquez does against starting NFL quarterbacks.
Marquez Callaway to the moon.
Oh, my gosh.
Hold on to that man with diamond hands. Actually, no, I'd trade him off for whatever value you can get. People are sending seconds for him right now in dynasty leagues.
Yeah. If you could, yeah.
I would just take that value right now.
Yes.
And run with it.
Because the only way it gets higher, I don't know, it might not get much higher
Michael
at
Thomas
this point.
never comes back.
If week 1 is a freak game, and then people start believing that he's stellar.
Which, not great likelihood of that, but we'll see.
No,
You never know.
We'll see what happens.
All right, that's it for news.
That is it for the news. Well done, boys. You ready to mock draft?
Let's get into it.
Mock, yeah.
Mock, yeah, ing, yeah, bird, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mockingbird, don't everybody have you heard?
Have you heard?
It's time to mock
Gosh, it's
draft.
mock time.
It is time to mock draft.
Stop this mockery.
You're a mockery.
Oh,
All right.
that's terrible.
Drafting from 3 different portions of the league here. I'm going to be picking at the 101, Chance at the 106, and Alex at the 110.
Just to remind you guys, half-point PPR, 12-team league, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 2 flex, and 1 defense. No kicker.
No kickers.
No kickers. We booted them right out of here.
7 bench spots, though.
7 bench spots.
All right, this is for all you home league drafters out there, work league drafters, family drafters. This is for you today, so hopefully we see some craziness.
Craziness. Wild.
Should we kick it off?
Let it begin.
All right, just to let y'all know, we will be posting the link to the draft board in the show notes, so if you want to get on there, click the link and check out the full draft board as you listen to this episode, you can do that, or if you just want to see what it all looks like in its entirety, that's where it will be available. May post that out to Twitter at Chairman Fantasy as well. Starting draft, 3, 2, 1, here we go! And I am on the clock with the 101, and my goodness, who am I gonna...
Who are you going for, man?
Man,
Who are you gonna
this is
get?
the only time that he's had the 101.
He really might not know what to do right now.
I had it in one best ball league earlier this offseason, but I'm going to take Christian McCaffrey right here because I'm getting 2 players of 1.
Oh.
2 and 1. That's 1 running back and 1 wide receiver.
So
At the
after
101
Ben
spot.
there, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, and then Ezekiel Elliott. Now it's my turn to pick at the 106. Ooh. And I'm going to go with Ben's man.
Oh.
Nick Chubb.
That's my boy.
Nicholas Chubb.
Nicholas.
I didn't
Nicholas
get him in our
Chubb.
League of Origin draft because I had the 106. And stinking Alex P took Nick Chubb at the 105, and I knew she was going to do it. And it greatly upset me.
So Alex, be at the back of draft. Who you looking at here?
Oh, well, after Chance took Nick Chubb there at the 106, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, and Tyreek Hill go off the board, and I'm sitting here at 110. I've got some pretty good options, not going to lie right here. Looking at the likes of Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce, Austin Eckler. And you know what? I am going to go with the Green Bay Packers number 1 wide receiver, Devontae Adams.
That is that part of the draft where you kind of start to go back and forth. What do I want to take here?
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce could get that edge at the tight end position, or stellar wide receivers, but the back end of the top tier of running backs. So
Yeah, that's true. And I was kind of hoping that Austin Eckler would make it back around to me, or Najee, and neither of them did.
No.
But Travis Kelce goes off at the 111. I really did debate him there at the 110 instead of Adams, but man, it's hard to pass up on Adams when Rodgers is still there. I mean, it's no doubt. Aaron Jones went at the 112. The 2-1, Najee went, and then Austin Eckler at the 2-2, and I'm back on the clock at the 2-3, looking at the likes of Mixon, Metcalf, Mahomes, Calvin Ridley. Since I went wide receiver there at the first pick, I typically like to come back with a running back, especially on the end right here, because by the time it gets back around to me, there's not going to be very good running backs for me particularly that I'm going to like as my running back 1. So I'm kind of looking at either Joe Mixon or Antonio Gibson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but I'm going to go for the upside of Antonio Gibson, who's had a bunch of hype this offseason. And it sounds like from Coach Ron Rivera that they want to get him even more involved in the passing game. So I'm hoping that's true.
I think they will. He was a phenomenal player last year, and all he can do is improve now, knowing the offense for a year, having some actual training camp this year.
I'm just hoping J.D. McKissick doesn't get in there and steal all those catches.
So after Antonio Gibson, we had Stephon Diggs go off the board, DeAndre Hopkins, and Joe Mixon. Ooh. And right now, I'm looking at DK Metcalf, Patrick Mahomes, Calvin Ridley, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and George Kittle.
What are you thinking here, Chance?
So I typically like to go wide receiver, running back in my first 2, just to make sure I get 2 elite players in the first couple rounds in a couple different positions. And then kind of go from there. And the guy right now, he's being hyped up, and I think rightfully so. I think he's the number 1 receiver in Atlanta right now. He balled out when he wasn't playing with Julio Jones. Now he doesn't have Julio Jones, and I think it's just going to continue. So I'm taking Calvin Ridley.
Oh, Ben. Ben is not happy. He wanted Calvin Ridley to come back.
He wasn't coming back, let's be honest.
Literally, Chance is doing every mock draft that I've done this whole offseason from the 106 spot, because we all know that Nick Chubb is my permanent chairman's choice. Calvin Ridley, I've been spouting as the wide receiver 1 all offseason.
That's right.
So, you're welcome, Chance. I'm glad you got that.
Thanks, Ben.
Congrats to you, buddy.
Ben's a little tilted right now, so
just slightly.
Just give him a little bit to make his next pick.
So after Chance took Calvin Ridley at the 2-7 marker, DK Metcalf, Patrick Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Keenan Allen go off the board, and Ben is up with the last pick of the second round here.
Yep, and I got old CMC there to start things off, and I'm going to try something a little different that I don't typically do, but I'm going a hero running back style here with what I'm looking at on the board. So I'm going to go with the anchor running back, the hero running back, and I'm going to pass on taking another running back with these next 2 picks because I'm looking at a couple stellar wide receivers. I could go and try to get the edge at tight end with the likes of George Kittle or Darren Waller here. But I'm going to wait on tight end, and I'm going to go for the guy that we saw break all sorts of rookie wide receiver records, and that's Justin Jefferson.
I like it.
And I think he's going to just continue to build on what he did last season. He's going to be stellar, and, I mean, Irv Smith just went down there, so I'm thinking more targets for Jefferson, more targets for Thielen. They're going to...
Whatever Conklin doesn't take.
Yeah.
Could be more targets for Dalvin Cook, too, honestly.
It's possible. It's very, very possible and probably true. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually pivot to what I was thinking right here, but I'm going to go with the guy that's had stellar volume throughout pretty much his entire career, has never had the opportunity to work with a good quarterback, and finally, even with Andy Dalton, has an upgrade at quarterback, and hopefully it's Justin Fields sooner rather than later, but I'm going to go Allen Robinson here at the 301.
Reach down the board just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But on the turn, like for you listeners out there, on the turn, it's kind of what you have to do. I mean...
If you like a player,
if you like somebody, and you got to reach for them, because in those, the number of picks that are going to go by the time it gets back to you, more than likely that guy that's 7, 8, 9, 10 picks away from you or down the draft board there, he's not going to be there. So you might have to reach a little bit.
More often than not, they will not be. Sometimes you get lucky, but doesn't happen often. After me went A.J. Brown, followed by George Kittle, then Chris Carson and David Montgomery, and Chance, I believe, is ready for his selection.
Yes, sir. So what do I got left here? I could go get a good tight end in Darren Waller. Scary Terry's right after him. Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Swift, Mike Evans, Josh Allen. And the person I'm looking at right now.
Don't do it, Chance.
I'm going to do it.
Don't do it.
He is turned out to have a phenomenal rookie year. Played out of the slot, and I think they're going to use him all over the field this year. So he's going to get a lot more opportunities and a lot more things to do with the ball.
Oh, my gosh.
And
Chance.
so I'm going CD Lamb.
No! Oh, snipe.
I think he's just going to be he's a stellar athlete, and they're going to use him all over the field. And
Oh, my goodness.
I have no problem taking CD Lamb there.
It's a good pick. I considered C.D. Lamb on the 301 there. But I do love
CD
some
Lamb was
Allen
supposed to go at the 310, but no, apparently not. After Chance took CD at 3.6, Darren Waller goes off at 3.7. I was kind of hoping he'd make it there too, but such is life.
This is why we mock.
Josh Allen at the 3.8, and then Kyler Murray at the 3.9. I'm on the clock at the 3.10. And kind of on the board, I'm looking at the likes of Terry McLaurin, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Swift, Mike Evans, Miles Sanders, Julio Jones. The running backs, I'm not super excited about right here, but I like the prospects of Terry McLaurin, especially with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think this is going to be the first, top tier kind of fantasy talent that Terry McLaurin has ever played with in his career. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a gunslinger, and I think this is the year that Terry goes through the roof.
I do like Terry McLaurin a lot. I think he's going to have a stellar year with Fitz magic there. Following up Alex's pick goes Josh Jacobs and then DeAndre Swift, and then kicking off the fourth round, Mike Evans at 4-1, and then Darrell Henderson at 4-2.
Darrell!
And Alex is back on the clock with his fourth round pick.
And I kind of think that I might be, So looking at the likes of Miles Sanders, Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, and Robert Woods, I'm kind of halfway thinking I might want to do what Ben was talking about and do the anchor RB or hero RB. There's so many names to it, Take one running back in your first 4 picks and then fill out the rest with wide receivers or that elite tight end. I am considering... Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going Amari Cooper right here at the 4-3. I love Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott's connection. Amari Cooper is Dak's number 1 wide receiver. And if CD Lamb takes that step up and takes over as, the 1A, there's still plenty of work there to be had with being the 1B per se. So I think Cooper and Lamb both. They're both going to be over 1,000 yards wide receiving. So
yes,
I know that.
Bold prediction.
Yeah. Plus another player.
There is one more. We don't talk about him because I might get him later. So
Okay. Because we don't know who that is, right, Alex?
no, you don't
We're
remember.
not paying any attention to that.
You don't remember, all right?
If you're not getting this reference, go back and watch or listen to the bold predictions episode. You'll hear exactly what Alex had to say about the Dallas receiving group.
Yes.
Julio Jones off the board, followed by Miles Sanders, and then Lamar Jackson at 4-6, and Chance is on the clock, currently tilting hard, I imagine.
Yeah. Not really. Typically, I like to get 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers in their first 4 rounds. Don't really care what order is, but that's what I usually typically do. Right now, I'm just looking at so many good wide receivers, and we do have those 2 flex spots, so I am actually looking at these wide receivers. Chris Godwin, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore, all sitting there for the picking, and I'm going to go with Chris Godwin.
Oh. We're all going 1 running back, 3 wide receivers, huh?
Everybody rolling the anchor hero RB strategy. I see.
Jeez.
Like I said, typically don't like to do it, but when you got receivers like that still available.
And Team 11 kind of went reverse order of that, along with Team 12. Team 11 has Kelsey, Eckler, Jacobs, and Henderson, and Team 12 has Jones, Harris, Swift, and Evans. So kind of reverse anchor running back. Anchor wide receiver, tight end.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. You gotta go with what the draft gives you here. And after Chance went DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and then Adam Thielen. And I am on the clock with the 4-12 and the 5-1 here. And I am actually going to do something I have not done because I typically like to wait on tight end. And I know I didn't take Kittle or Darren Waller back there, but it's starting to look like a pretty good value here in the 4th and 5th rounds to me. And since I'm on the turn, I'm not going to be able to afford to wait.
Just take him in the 5th and make it look even better.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take him in the 5th and I'm going to make it look even better. And I'm actually going to pivot my strategy here more so for you listeners to give you something a little different to look at than what Chance and Alex are doing. And I'm going to go with another running back here, and I'm going to take James Robinson, who is now going to be the guy in Jacksonville again, with Travis Etienne being ruled out for the year from a Liz Franck injury. And I'm taking James Robinson at the 4-12.
You weren't supposed to know about him.
You're supposed to be in the dark about that.
And now I'm going to go ahead and go with my tight end here. I think we're going to see a resurgence of Mark Andrews with the Baltimore Ravens, particularly with all of the top wide receivers there banged up already. And with the talks of them wanting to throw the ball more, and with J.K. Dobbins hurt now, I think we're going to see Lamar Jackson just hyper-focus on his best buddy, Mark Andrews. I'm taking him in the 5th, and I think that's a pretty good spot to take him there.
I agree.
So after Mark Andrews went, we had Kyle Pitts and Deontay Johnson, Kareem Hunt, and Tyler Lockett go off the board.
Another guy I was hoping he'd make it back. Dang it. Man.
I'm kind of looking at need another running back to play, but man, I'm not a huge fan. Some of these running backs are left here. So I'm actually going to go off a little off strategy and go with the guy I really like out of San Francisco, Brandon Ayuk.
Whoa, reaching down the board a little bit.
A little bit. I don't think he's coming back around the turn. He is just, like I said about CeeDee Lamb, I think the 49ers are going to use him in the slot, on the outside, just wherever they can use Brandon Ayuk. They're going to find a way to get him the ball. He's going to get points every week.
He's a yak monster. Some might say Brandon Ayak.
Oh, my gosh.
Just gets that yards after catch. No problem.
Man.
That was good.
That was
a real good one.
That was.
Give me my credit where it's due.
Alex is not impressed.
That's 3 out of 10 effort. 3 out of 10. Well, after Chance took Ayuk, Michael Thomas went off at the 5-7. That's a little bit early.
A little too early for me.
He's going to be missing 6 weeks of the season.
Just remember that, folks.
Yeah.
Just remember that. Then Myles Gaskin at the 5-8 and Mike Davis at the 5-9. Back-to-back running backs who I was actually considering right there. But, yeah, I guess that...
just got to go with the flow of the draft,
man. Go with the flow of the draft is what Ben says. So... I am actually going to do...
Tilt.
I have TJ Hawkinson sitting there at the top of the draft board right now. I still do need a tight end, but I am going to wait on tight end. And I am actually going to go with somebody that I think may actually have the job sooner rather than later. Javonte Williams, running back for the Denver Broncos.
I knew he was going to do that.
That's a good pick.
Ben approves.
Ben approves. Ben approval.
How dare you, sir?
So a lot of word out of Broncos camp saying Javonte looks excellent. Melvin Gordon looks good too, but I mean, it's looking like they may actually be splitting time right out of the gate rather than Melvin kind of taking the 60-40 approach. It could very well be Javonte taking the 60 percentage of the carries. So
I think we may see a J.K. Dobbins type year from Javonte Williams where they do split the work for the first half of the season, getting into the season, but then something will happen or Javonte will just show up and he'll end up getting the majority of the run there towards the latter half of the year. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where you're going to really reap benefits from Javonte Williams. My personal guess on what's going to happen with them.
So for my next pick, I'm actually going to reach a little bit down the board here. I'm going to shore up the running back room as well, and I'm going to take all aboard the Gus Bus.
I was really
Gus
hoping
Bucks
you
at
wouldn't do
6'3".
that. I was hoping he'd make it back. He did not take another running back. He was going to make it back.
So, initially started out with 1 running back and 3 wide receivers in those first 4 picks and back-to-back running backs. I like to do that sometimes in drafts, and just kind of hit a position and then just instantly, okay, I don't have to worry about that for a while.
Just hammer the position.
Hammer that position real quick.
Yeah, I like doing mocks where I start the first 5 rounds with running backs, and then I'll just go wide receiver heavy.
Then you don't even have to worry about them the rest of the draft.
Yeah, then I'll just go wide receiver heavy the next 6 rounds. I've done that, and I've liked my teams a few times, and then other times it's been real scary.
That looked a little gross. So after Gus Edwards went at the 6'3" to me, Jamar Chase 6'4".
It's early, people.
Chase Claypool 6'5", and Juju Smith-Schuster at 6'6". 2 Pittsburgh Steelers wide receivers. And chances on the clock at 6'7".
So I was really hoping Gus Edwards would come back, but Alex, of course, had to make the 2 running back move. But there's another guy down there we kind of mentioned earlier that it's kind of a blessing for him that Cam Newton is no longer on that team. So I think his value goes up right now, and I'm okay having him as my second running back. So I'm going to go Damian Harris. I think he's the main guy there at Patriots right now. And like you said, with Cam Newton gone, not vulturing those goal line touchdowns, he should get some of those looks. So
I saw Ben wince a little bit right there. Were you hoping he made it back to you, Ben?
I was looking at him, but I'm okay. Because I'm going to take my boy right here. I'm
saw this coming.
Not even going to hesitate on this one. We're going Jerry Jeudy right here at the end of the 6th round. And Teddy Bridgewater been named the starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos. And I think that's going to benefit the way Jerry Jeudy plays the game a little bit more. Teddy's pretty good with those short to intermediate passes. Jerry Jeudy was already one of the leaders in the NFL with being able to create space and get open, and was one of the leaders in the NFL with uncatchable balls as well. And I think Teddy's accuracy and just being able to hit those intermediates and short routes a little bit better than Drew Lock is going to really benefit old Jerry Jeudy there. And I think we're going to see a potential takeover of the number 1 spot in Denver. Probably a 1A, 1B situation. I still really like Cortland Sutton as well, but Judy's talent is just filthy.
Oh man!
All right, and down here, I'm testing some different strategies out to see how I like my team here. So I'm going to do something a little unorthodox for me, and in the 7th round here, I'm going to go ahead and go with a quarterback. And the reigning MVP of the league, who is back in Green Bay, he didn't move on. I wanted him to go to Denver, but we'll wait a year on that. And I'm taking Aaron Rodgers at the first pick of the 7th round there, and I think we're going to see a stellar, pissed-off Rodgers performance this season. He's going to Alex's first-round pick, Devontae Adams, like crazy.
That's very possible. Just to update you guys, after Chance took Damian Harris, Justin Herbert went at 6'8", T. Higgins 6'9", Dak Prescott 6'10", Odell Beckham at 6'11", and then Ben took Jerry Jeudy at 6'12", then Rodgers at the 7'1", Ronald Jones at 7'2", Kenny Galladay at 7'3", Melvin Gordon at 7'4", and Noah Fant at 7'5", and Chances on the clock at 7'6".
So kind of looking at what we got right here, I have 2 running backs and 4 wide receivers. And who we got next on the board is Cortland Sutton, Tom Brady, Trey Sermon, Deebo Samuel, Robbie Anderson, and DJ Chark. And I'm actually going to go with another running back here. And Trey Sermon. It's going to kind of be him and a Mostert show. And just how injuries have been in that 49ers backfield, he could win that job there. Even just outshowing Mostert, it might not happen for a few weeks, but he has the opportunity to be that main back there. And if he could, they have an awesome rushing scheme there in San Francisco. So
Mostert, not the shining example of health. So he was probably going to miss a few games this year. You could probably bet on that. And Trey Sermon could be there to gobble up all the carries that he leaves behind him when he gets hurt. So
absolutely, just gonna gobble up them.
just
carries.
gobble them up.
Deebo Samuel off the board, followed by Cortland Sutton, and then Robbie Anderson, and Alex is on the clock.
Man, all 3 of those guys I was looking at went bang, bang, bang. Oh, man. Well, I was going to try and wait as long as I could, but I think right now is an excellent value point for this guy. This is the Super Bowl quarterback right here, the reigning Super Bowl champ, arguably the GOAT. I'm going to go with Tom Brady right here. Another year in the Bruce Arians system. You could see at the beginning of the year last year that Tom Brady had a little bit of rust learning the system. And towards the end of the year, man, it got scary. And I can only imagine what it's going to look like in year 2, especially with all 3 of those wide receivers out there ready to rock and roll.
But he's old man winter and the wheels are going to fall off.
They have not yet.
He can't do it anymore. He's 44.
Oh, man.
What are you thinking?
Well, Ben?
I'm just telling you what the people are telling.
Oh, that's that's all the people are saying?
That's just what they're trying to tell you.
All of the people. This guy, he's putting up points every week that were pretty much in the 20s. So it's lock him in for 20 points a game. So,
all right, fair enough. DJ Chark off the board. Tyler Boyd, Matthew Stafford kicks off the 8th round, and then Brandon Cooks, and Alex is making his next pick.
I think I'm still going to wait on tight end right now. For running backs, man.
You can do it, Alex.
There's one running back there that I've kind of got my eye on a little bit, Zach Moss. He's kind of the last of like the surefire starters, but at the same time, I feel like I can wait a little bit. I'm going to reach down a little ways because I know he's not going to come back to me. And I'm going to take Antonio Brown and match him up there with Tom Brady.
Look at that. There you go.
Antonio Brown. This is a guy that lived with Tom Brady. Tom Brady has, advocated for this guy. He wanted him there. He brought him there. He lived with him.
It's my too cold player.
It's your too cold player. And I think this guy is
good pick.
Can easily have 1,000 yards and close to 10 touchdowns. I mean, as long as he stays healthy.
He may end up being the number 1 receiver in Tampa Bay.
He could very easily be the number 1 wide receiver in Tampa Bay.
I'm just saying it. Dallas Goedert off the board, Leonard Fournette, and then Devontae Smith, and Chance is on the clock at the 8:07.
So the guy I'm looking at right now I got 4 wide receivers and 3 running backs. So I'm actually looking at a guy who finished at quarterback number 8 last year, and now he's been blessed with the presence of Julio Jones.
Whoa!
So
Chance gonna take his guy.
I'm gonna take my guy. And Ryan Tannehill, I think his value just goes up from here. The Tennessee Titans have been known for their run heavy team and pass it every now and then. And it went to A.J. Brown if they did pass it. But now they have A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. I think passing has to be a big part of their game now. And those guys are just going to eat up yards. They're going to eat up touchdowns. So give me Ryan Tannehill.
I like it.
Good pick.
Good pick.
Good pick. Okay.
Right after Tannehill there at the 8-7, Michael Carter goes at 8-8, then Zach Moss 8-9, Jarvis Landry 8-10, and Jalen Hurts at 8-11. And Ben's on the clock with the last pick of the 8th round here at 8-12. Where are you going to go?
Yep.
He's got 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 quarterback. What's he going to do?
Yep, and I'm going to go with a guy here that I've been talking about a little bit throughout the offseason, who I feel is going to be more of the 10 and in guy, kind of more of a goal line back, and will get a much bigger workload if the guy ahead of him goes down. And I'm going to take running back for the Green Bay Packers, A.J. Dillon, right here.
Oh.
I think he's going to be falling into the end zone quite a bit this season.
A.J. Dillon.
Some pretty good standalone value, as well as being a good handcuff for Aaron Jones there. And then I'm going to take a guy that we've seen just get absolutely riddled with targets this preseason, and who I am actually rising on now as we've gone through a bit of the preseason. And I'm going to take Corey Davis with the
apparently Chance was looking at him too. He wasn't going to make it to me.
Zach Wilson looking like the real deal there for New York right now, and a lot of people are starting to come around on him and saying he's going to be legit. And Corey Davis has just been one of his favorite targets throughout this entire offseason so far. Laviska Shenault goes off after my Corey Davis pick, and then James Conner, Robert Tonyan, and then we see our first defense off the board, people. And this is what happens in these home leagues, these work leagues. You'll see people as they fill out their starting rosters, they'll reach for good defenses right here. And this is why their ADP is so high, because that's what people are doing right now. So we just saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get taken in the 9th round, and I'm telling you, people, do not do this, even if you start to see it happen in your work leagues, your family leagues. Just wait. Take one at the last pick.
Yes.
Chance, you're on the clock.
So I'm on the clock. I'm looking to round out my team here, and get my starting lineup solidified. So I'm looking at tight ends right now, and the guy I'm looking at is Tyler Higbee. Being the only tight end there now, that's going to be the primary guy, and now they got a better quarterback in Matthew Stafford. I think his value goes up. He's been a great tight end. He showed it before. There's a reason Gerald Everett's no longer there. So
whatever, Chance. Whatever. Gosh, dang it.
Alex just getting sniped like crazy having this back end of the draft.
Man.
At that 110 spot, man.
Got a bunch of yahoos here reaching. Goodness gracious. I'm just going to keep waiting. Going to keep waiting on tight end. I'm punting tight end. I'm waiting.
You got to.
I kind of have to now. Yeah.
This is the problem when we all start, when we're podcasting together all off season and then mock drafting together all off season, talking each other into players that we like.
Pretty much.
It's real difficult to draft with each other nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Sniping happens a lot more the later we get into these mock drafts. That is for sure.
Sheesh Louise. Well, I am going to take a running back here that I believe is going to have value as well throughout the season with the starter, who right now, currently, the starter seems like he could be injured a little bit right now, and it's a little bit concerning for my dynasty team with DeAndre Swift. I'm going to take Jamal Williams right here, and currently right now, Jamal's probably going to be the starter. I mean, it sounds like DeAndre Swift has been dealing with an injury that's just kind of been nagging on lately. The coaching staff hasn't really been forthcoming. Not necessarily that they have to be forthcoming, but it's making me a little bit nervous. So I'm going to take Jamal Williams, who has shown a lot of productivity when he was there in Green Bay. He can shoulder the load as a starting running back. He's got that receiving ability as well. And I think Detroit's going to be so terrible, they're going to have to throw it a bunch. And hopefully Jamal racks up a bunch of receptions.
Very nice. Between Chance and Alex's picks, Logan Thomas went off, then Jalen Waddle, and then David Johnson. Then Alex took Jamal Williams, followed by Mike Williams and Will Fuller to round out the 9th round. Kicking off the 10th round, we see Rob Gronkowski, and then Trevor Lawrence goes off at the 10-2, and Alex is back on the clock.
This one's an easy pick for me. I'm going Michael Pittman right here with T.Y. Hilton gone. Michael Pittman. is going to be the number one wide receiver there for the Colts. And I think apparently Chance really wanted him as well.
I think Chance got sniped.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I think Pittman has all the opportunity in the world to take off right now.
Very nice. Kenyon Drake then follows that pick, and then Joe Burrow, and we see our second defense get taken off the board here. And again, this is exactly what you'll see in those work leagues, family leagues, home leagues, whatever you're in. Washington football team goes off at the 10-6, and Chance is on full tilt trying to make his selection right now.
That's right, Chance. That's what you get for taking Higbee.
Well, whatever. All right, whatever. All right. All right, so right now what I'm looking at is Mike Gesicki, Curtis Samuel, Rams defense. Do not draft him this high. Devin Singletary, Ravens defense, and Darnell Mooney. And then also Michael Gallup is up there. So I'm kind of looking at adding some more wide receivers to my team. There's a couple guys I'm looking at here. And I'm going to go with sophomore for the Chicago Bears. Almost said Atlanta Bears. I don't know where that is. Darnell Mooney. Just a great athlete with Andy Dalton, and hopefully Justin Fields just continues to progress and they get a solid quarterback there, so it'll no longer just be the Allen Robinson show. They'll start throwing it to the other wide receivers. I think he's just a phenomenal player. Finished as 90 last year, but like I said, there was a little rough quarterback situation for him last year, so I think his value just goes up this year.
A lot of footballs just sailing over the top. Not catchable.
Lots of rave reviews for Mooney, too, coming out of camp. The guy is just scorching people. And even like the little cross practices they've had with other teams, apparently he was scorching Jalen Ramsey in Rams when they played up against the Rams in practices. So
those videos went viral very fast.
Yeah. So if that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what will.
Oh boy! All right, but after Mooney goes off, Devin Singletary, who I was looking at with this pick, was taken, then Curtis Samuel, and then we had two defenses go off the board, the Los Angeles Rams and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I am on the clock with my pick at the turn, and I am going to take the third piece of this Dallas Cowboys receiving game. No! The other guy that Alex thinks is going to go for 1,000 yards, and that's Michael Gallup. Going to take him right there, and I think we're going to get some good value out of Michael Gallup. I think he's going to be playing a little bit more in the slot this year as they're going to be moving CeeDee Lamb to the outside a little bit more often. And
it's a good pick.
Michael Gallup is a really good receiver in a high-powered offense.
No one can talk
if I can speak. And, I like Michael Gallup down here. And now I'm looking... My running back depth is really not there at all. I've got Christian McCaffrey, who I feel great about. James Robinson, who I feel great about. A.J. Dillon, who I feel good about.
He's a backup, but yeah.
And I am going to pull a bit of a reach down here, and I'm going to take this guy for the L.A. Rams. Sony Michel, who we've seen McVay kind of rotate between starting running backs there. Xavier Jones got the axe from the LA Rams there.
He got hurt.
And he did get, he got hurt, but then he got cut.
Yeah.
So, it's Darrell Henderson there right now. They traded for Sony Michel. He's going to get run. He's going to get looks. I don't think that Darrell Henderson is just going to be the sole workhorse back there. And we're going to see a bit of a rotation, I believe, like we saw last year. And I believe we're going to see Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel both get used in this offense pretty frequently. So Sony Michel had to reach down a ways there, but I knew he probably was not going to make it back to me in the 12th round.
No, he wasn't. That was my next pick.
Chance just getting sniped in the middle.
Sniped right there.
Mike Gesicki goes off after the Sony Michel pick, followed by Tony Pollard, Marquise Brown, and then Nyheim Hines. And chances on the clock after more snipage.
More snipage. That is for sure. So I'm actually going to look to reach down here. I feel like he might be a little undervalued here, especially with the news coming out that Mac Jones is a starter. So they're going to be throwing the ball around, and they've been touting him up this whole training camp preseason, saying he's their guy. They're going to be using him all over the place as well.
He's looked real solid in preseason games.
So I'm going with Jacoby Myers.
Ooh, Jacoby
you got
Myers.
Nelson Aguilar there and Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, but it sounds like they are wanting to get the ball to Jacoby.
You went a different direction than I thought you were going, but I agree with everything you said. And
He's already got a tight end.
And stand by what I said.
He's already got a tight end. You thought he was going Jonnu?
I do like Jonnu.
Anyway, Henry Ruggs goes off after Jacoby Myers. And then two more defenses, Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills go off, and Alex is on the clock.
I'm going to make my last running back pick right here. He is currently, I think he's the head of a running back committee right now. He's the youngest of a running back committee right now of a ugly team. But he's going to get carries regardless. And, he might actually have, He's the starter for a team.
He could surprise you.
It could surprise me. He'll be a bye week filler, and
just take Phillip Lindsay and move on.
I'm taking Phil Go.
Oh, Phillip Lindsay, I miss you.
Oh man!
If they just give him the run there, I think he'll do pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got before the cuts, they had like 9 running backs on the roster. It was just ridiculous.
Well, after I took Phillip Lindsay at the 11-10, Mecole Hardman goes, then Marvin Jones at the last pick of the 11th round, then Trey Lance goes with the 12-1 and San Francisco 49ers defense. And this pick is going to be easy for me just because of the sheer possibility and the hype that he's been receiving all offseason. Like Ben said, Zach Wilson has been playing very well this preseason, and I think
my boy.
I think Elijah Moore combined with Corey Davis is going to be a pretty good little duo right there.
Number 1 rookie wide receiver this year.
Also, apparently Jameson Crowder is injured right now, so
even more so, number 1 rookie wide receiver this year.
Ooh, I like it.
Doubling down on the bold prediction.
After Elijah Moore went, Irv Smith went at 12-4.
Team 9 did not get the memo.
Do not draft Irv Smith, people. He is out for the year. Russell Gage at 12-5, and then Justin Fields at 12-6. Chances on the clock.
You'll see people do that, though. I was on Twitter and saw that somebody had jumped into a home league draft and apparently did not get the news on Travis Etienne, I guess, and drafted Travis Etienne up in like the 3rd round.
Oh, that sucks.
And this was not a dynasty league. This was a redraft. So
that's a bummer, man.
All right. So after Irv Smith went off the board, Russell Gage and then Justin Fields. And then now it is my pick. And I'm actually going with the guy Ben originally thought was going to be taken last round. I've been a huge fan of his ever since he was in Tennessee. I thought he was very underused there. Very athletic tight end that pretty much is a receiver with his speed and athleticism. I'm going to take Jonnu Smith to round out my tight end group.
Tight end group.
It's a group of 2.
it's a group of 2.
Group of 2.
Tight end group.
My pair.
Oh my goodness.
Alex does not have a tight end yet.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm getting all the value.
I'm usually in that boat. So.
Yep. I will take all the value.
Chuba Hubbard goes off after Jonnu Smith, followed by Marquez Callaway and Devontae Parker, and then Latavius Murray, who made it through cuts there in New Orleans, I believe.
Did.
a lot of people were speculating that he would be gone and potentially going to the Falcons or the Ravens. I saw a lot of chatter about that. Mm-hmm. But made it through there. And Devonta Freeman did not make it through the cuts. So
Probably not going back to the Falcons.
All right. And I'm on the clock here at the end of the 12th round, going into the 13th. And let's see here at the back end of the 12th round. Oh, man, I was scrolled down quite a ways. I'm looking, but I may just scroll back down anyway because there was a couple of names that I liked that I may just take down there. And one that I'm going to take a shot on, we just saw this guy who's been really fantasy friendly for the last few years, was signed by the Las Vegas Raiders this offseason, but was looking like he was not going to be getting as much work and actually asked to be released. And John Brown got cut. And you know what that says to me?
Oh, I know exactly what it says to you.
That says to me that Brian Edwards...
Wheels up, baby. Wheels up.
Is going to be trusted there as one of the top two receivers.
The train is leaving the station, people. Y'all better jump on real quick.
So I did not think Brian Edwards was going to get back to me because I've got that quick turnaround. So I had to jump on him there, bolster my wide receiver depth a little bit. And then down here, I'm going to take a
Why'd you think
back
he wasn't going to make it back to you?
Because you had a pick between. You had two picks between. Duh, Alex.
I don't get it.
It's like I know you or something.
Oh, my gosh.
Know your draft room, people. Know the people in your room. This guy I'm going to take right here is going to bolster my running back depth a little bit. Another one of those that I think will have a little bit of standalone value, but will be a good handcuff in case something happens to the lead back. And I'm going to go with a rookie, Ramondre Stevenson, right here, who has been just stellar in the offseason. And like we said at the beginning with Cam Newton gone, running back values there in New England shoot up.
Chance was not happy with that.
Nope. Got a little sigh out of Chance.
Kind of hoping to get my handcuff there, but no, that's all right.
Nope, not for you.
No, it's for me.
Chance sitting here with 3 running backs right now.
Yeah, the running back's not looking too solid right now.
Maybe you should have taken one instead of your second tight end.
You know, I was looking at that, and I thought he'd actually make it back to me. I did not think Ben was going to pick him.
He's been sniping you this whole time. What do you mean you didn't think he was going to make it back to you?
I had some faith. And apparently I was wrong.
Know your draft room, people.
Know your draft room.
Baker Mayfield goes off. Hunter Henry, New England Patriots defense, and then Nelson Aguilar, and Chance is on full tilt again.
I do see somebody that you could take.
Alex will take him if you don't.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say him, though.
The one guy I'm looking at here, he currently has an undisclosed injury, so I'm assuming it's not too serious right now.
Nope, that's not him.
That's okay. But he's fallen one of the best backs in the league right now. If for some reason Dalvin Cook goes down, Alexander Madison has proved he can play in that role and have a solid outing. So Alexander Madison.
Ooh, okay.
Handcuffing Team 2's running back there. Cole Beasley, Rondale Moore, and Matt Ryan off the board, and Alex is on the clock.
Oof.
No idea what he wants to do.
I don't have a tight end yet, folks.
Hey,
and I'm just realizing
keep
Hunter
letting
Henry
that value come to you.
Hunter Henry went way earlier in this round. Dang it. Bummer. So...
Oh, man.
I'm just going to keep pushing back.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing back, baby.
Let it ride.
Let it ride. Oh, man. Sitting here looking.
If I'm in Alex's shoes, this is a spot where I consider doing 2 tight ends, because if you wait this long at a position, I want people that I can stream to play matchups.
But truthfully, there's not not a whole lot of difference makers really at this point, I don't think, other than some long shot, players that could really bolster. And there's actually, that I clicked on the tight end tab there. There's a few tight ends I'm still all right with getting. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer here. And I am going to go with the guy that I was thinking that Chance should have taken, Tevin Coleman of the New York Jets. He is touted to be the lead back for the Jets.
How long is that going to last, though?
Enough weeks that once he's not,
How many times has
I will
Tevin
kick
Coleman
him.
been the lead back, and that turned out not to be?
It would have been enough, Chance. It would have been enough.
Get 2 or 3 weeks of him leading the backfield and then trade him off.
Yep. Or cut him. One or the other.
Jared Cook and
Long enough to see what Trey Sermon would have given you.
Oh,
See?
Okay. Fair enough.
Jared Cook and rookie sensation Terrace Marshall go off the board, and then the Denver Broncos defense kicks off the 14th round. Rashad Penny and Alex is back on the clock.
Oh. Okay. Jared Cook, goodbye.
You better just take your tight end now.
I better
man.
take a tight end, apparently. So of the tight ends that I'm looking at, the one that I actually like the most, that I think he's still in the same system that he's been in for majority of his career. Actually, I think all of his career. But as of right now, he is still the tight end one of his team. It sounded like he was going to get traded away, but it sounds like now that he is going to be sticking with the team, he sounds like he wants to retire there as long as the team is willing to keep him. I'm going Zach Ertz with my tight end right here.
Smart man, Alex.
Get the value.
Smart man.
Yes, yes.
You do good things sometimes.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
J.D. McKissick goes off the board, followed by Evan Ingram, and then Kenneth Gainwell, rookie running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. Off the board, and Chance is on the clock. Chance still unsure what's happening in this draft right now.
Right now, my running backs aren't looking too great right now, but I'm also not looking at a lot of great running backs on this board anymore.
I'll trade you a couple for Jonnu.
Okay.
I'll give you Phil Go and Tevco.
Phil go.
Tevco.
Just because he was in the backfield with Melvin Gordon last year. It's Phil Go and Mel Go. Now Telco.
All right.
That's a little...
Those names got to go.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell your dad that.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
All right. Well, just to kind of add some running back depth, and he's just purely a handcuff right now. He probably won't see much unless the primary guy is out with an injury, but he has been out with injuries a few times now. So I'm going to go with Devontae Booker, New York Jets backup running back.
Okay. I was going to say, as dire as the running backs are right now, there are still a few backups that, like you said, pending an injury, they could do something. Mm-hmm. So Booker being one of them, we'll just talk about it here at the end. We'll see what I don't want to help you.
What do you got to say?
Just wait a minute.
All right. Kirk Cousins, T.Y. Hilton, Jalen Reagor, and Giovanni Bernard go off after Chance's pick here, and I am a little upset because I was kind of hoping for Jalen Reagor right here, but that's okay. I'm going to go with the flow of the draft. And down here, I'm going to take who I believe may end up rising to the top and being the number 2 wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, my God.
And I'm going to take Gabe Davis right here.
No, that's a good pick.
We have seen in the preseason Emmanuel Sanders probably gonna be the first one out there to start the season off as the number 2 wide receiver, but effectiveness in this last preseason game, I believe it was, we saw Emmanuel Sanders caught like 4 of 10 targets or something along those lines for like 40 some yards, if I remember correctly. And Gabriel Davis caught 5 of 5 targets for 70 yards and a touchdown. And there is that clear rapport with Gabe Davis and Josh Allen in Buffalo. And I think we may start to see Gabe Davis surpass Emmanuel Sanders at some point during the season.
I think he already has, honestly.
And yeah, it's very well possibly that he has. So Gabe Davis in that pass-happy Buffalo Bills offense with Josh Allen still just looking sharp. I am going to take that value all day and run. And then down here, looking through just a mess of stuff,
Just a mess.
I'm actually going to go with a guy that a lot of people have been saying is potentially even going to be splitting carries with the lead back there, and I think is probably going to have some standalone value. Good pass catcher out of the backfield, and I'm going to go with Boston Scott.
Ooh, that was one of the guys'
Philadelphia.
Chance.
So Boston Scott, I think, is going to have some good standalone value on his own, and if Miles Sanders goes down, really going to have a lot of good value. So Boston
There's
Scott.
been a lot of talk out of Philadelphia camp that Boston Scott and Miles Sanders are splitting carries, like all of them. Mm-hmm. Goal line, everything. Red zone carries, everything. So Boston Scott, kind of a sneaky little backup running back that could pay off later on in the season.
Yep. Sneaky little grab there by me. Thanks, guys.
Sneaky grab by me.
Amon-Ra St. Brown goes off, and then Deshaun Watson and Tua Tagovailoa and A.J. Green, and chances on the clock again.
Yep, so we're looking at the 15th round now, and I'm actually going to go with a guy that has been reunited with the quarterback that made him ever so popular in the early days. And Randall Cobb. I think maybe we can actually see some chemistry between them. He is older. He's going to be slowed down a little bit, but I think you still kind of have to look at him there in the slot. I don't think he's going to get the yak, but he's going to get the touches. He's going to get the yards. So
that was one of the contingencies for Aaron Rodgers to come back to Green Bay.
So you'd have to think that he's going to get some work.
You better bring Randall Cobb back. Otherwise, I'm out. I'm gone.
Oh, man. So judging at what I can assume is going to be on the waiver wire, I thought about going another tight end here to kind of, back up Zach Ertz. But honestly, like Gerald Everett just went after Chance took Randall Cobb, Xavier Jones. By the way, don't draft Xavier Jones. Went at 15-7, Gerald Everett at 15-8, and then Rashad Bateman at 15-9. I was thinking Gerald Everett, but now that he's gone, the tight ends I'm looking at now are Austin Hooper, Adam Troutman, who could come back from injury here. I haven't really heard any more updates about him. Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth, Ferkser, Jarwin. There's somebody there that I'll be able to pick up off the waiver wire if something were to happen to Ertz. I'm looking for high upside for this pick. And I'm going to go with a wide receiver. He's actually the wide receiver 3 currently on his team, but he is playing behind 2 wide receivers that have been injured before in the past, one that is injured just about every year on a high-octane offense. I'm going rookie Josh Palmer with the 15-10 pick, and they like what they see out of Josh Palmer. I've heard a lot of talk about him, and they enough to send Tyron Johnson down the road, who made a lot of big plays for him last year.
So after Josh Palmer, we had Traquan Smith go off the board, Sterling Shepard, James White, and Marlon Mack. And it's back to Alex.
Ooh. And are you guys going to draft a defense, or are you going to do the sneaky thing?
The pro strat?
The pro strat?
Well, when I got back to my pick, I was going to talk about that. The one thing that you can do, and things like Sleeper, we're drafting on the Sleeper platform, where it doesn't force you to round out your starting roster, so you don't have to draft a defense. And actually, in our League of Origin draft, I did this. One of my favorite things to do at the end of drafts right now is to draft Deshaun Watson and instead of a defense, because I could just wait to pick up a defense literally the day before the kickoff of the season and feel okay about that. Whereas I could hold on to Deshaun Watson up until the day of the kickoff of the NFL season and see if anything happens with his playing status in that amount of time. And if all of a sudden he gets cleared and he decides he's playing, or he gets traded somewhere and is playing, I all of a sudden have a top 5 quarterback that I can trade to somebody or keep, depending on who my other quarterback is.
That's true.
So that's one thing that I like to do. If there's no players down there that I don't feel like are worth really holding on to, one thing you could do is grab a backup running back and just hold on to in case, not in hopes, but in case something happens in practice leading up to the NFL season. I'm letting Alex panic here.
And I guess I'll do that style. I took Darrell Williams at the last one. If something were to happen to Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the next couple weeks before the start of the season, I think Darrell's a starter pretty easy. So
yeah, it's your last pick. You can hold on to him right until the day before the season kicks off. And if there's no news, you can feel fine dropping that last pick to pick up your defense and stream your defense for week 1. Because you're going to be streaming defenses in the season anyway, unless you have an absolutely stellar one that you'll hold on to. But the majority of the time, you're just going to be streaming defenses.
that's true.
Yeah, when I usually look at this, I'm not a big fan of drafting defenses because what you want is those weekly matchups. So what I'm looking at when I look at these drafts is who's playing week 1? Do I need to get a defense, or can I just stream this week 1? Who's playing a weaker team that they'll get solid points, the 5-6 points, all you can really expect from a defense anymore unless they just go off on a team. But the guy I'm looking at right now with the T.Y. Hilton injury, I think there's a couple receivers that can make a name for themselves as he's sitting out. And I'm going to go with Paris Campbell, the Indianapolis Colts. He's been injured. He does have injury problems, but if he stays healthy, it's the time now with T.Y. Hilton out to prove that he deserves to be in that spot. So
I like it.
Very nice, very nice. And with my last pick, the final pick of the draft here, I was going to take Tony Jones, running back for the New Orleans Saints, who seemingly has taken over the number 2 role there. A lot of people are talking about him having passed up Latavius Murray, and with Devonta Freeman being cut, he's likely the number 2 there. But what I'm going to do now, since he is gone, is... It's pretty gross down here. I'm going to look at who the Miami Dolphin defense is playing in week 1, and I'm going to take them against the New England Patriots and their starting rookie quarterback and take that Dolphins defense.
That's actually who I took in our league of record for the last round for that exact reason. If there was the possibility that Mac Jones could start, then I was drooling over the possibility of the Dolphins going up against a rookie quarterback.
Yep, finished as the number 4 defense last year in fantasy, and rookie quarterback to start the year off with. So
you bet.
Went with it. All right. Well, boys, let's recap our teams real quick and get the people out of here. So is it a good mock draft? And remember, we'll have the link in the show notes so you can see the entire draft board. So, Alex, take us through your draft.
All right. In order from first round through, I went Devontae Adams, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Amari Cooper, Javonte Williams, Gus Edwards, Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, Javonte Williams. Man, I got 2.
Jamal Williams.
Jamal. I said Javonte. I got 2 Jay Williams.
Yep.
I got Jamal and Javonte.
You got the Ja Williams brothers.
After Jamal Williams, I got Michael Pittman, Philip Lindsay, Elijah Moore, Tevin Coleman, Zach Ertz, Josh Palmer, and with my last pick, I took Darrell Williams. I did not take a defense.
Very nice. Chance, take us through yours.
So starting at my first pick, I took Nick Chubb and Calvin Ridley, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, Damian Harris, Trey Sermon, Ryan Tannehill, Tyler Higbee, Darnell Mooney, Jacoby Myers, Jonnu Smith, Alexander Mattison, Devontae Booker, Randall Cobb, and Paris Campbell. And I was pretty weak at the running back, but with it being a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, I like having Chris Godwin and Ayuk as my flex for most weeks, other than, the bye weeks and stuff like that. So Damian Harris, Nick Chubb, of course, is going to do Nick Chubb things and be a great running back. Damian Harris, I think he'll have a solid season. Both in late bye week, so Trey Sermon could prove his spot by then or completely bust, but it's kind of a wait and see game with that. So
Offer Stan's chance. I'll trade you a running back for Higbee.
We'll talk afterwards, Alex.
All right, and I like drafting at the 101, guys. It's kind of nice. I took Christian McCaffrey, followed that up with Justin Jefferson, and then Allen Robinson, James Robinson in the 4th, and then Mark Andrews, followed that up with Jerry Jeudy, Aaron Rodgers, and then A.J. Dillon, Corey Davis, Michael Gallup, Sony Michel, Brian Edwards, Ramondre Stevenson, and then Gabriel Davis, Boston Scott, and the Miami Dolphins defense to round out this draft. And the other teams, there's a couple other teams out there that I liked quite a bit that I thought did pretty well, but we'll let you guys look at those draft boards there so you can see how the bots stacked up against us. And if you want to get involved, get on Twitter and Instagram and all that and let us know how you think we did. You can follow us on Twitter at Chairman Fantasy, at FindFF Leagues, and at Fantasy Squatch.
Yeah, download, rate, and review us on all your podcast listening devices, wherever you listen to podcasts, really. We're there.
That's exactly right. Say goodbye, Chance.
Bye, guys.
Hope you guys have a good draft week leading up to the kickoff for the NFL season.
Week 1 next week.
Goodbye. Hey, Alex.
What?
So when you're on a boat and you're on like a rocky ocean, and you're drifting out to sea, what's the best way to keep your boat like sturdy and just staying still?
Oars?
No, not even close. You throw out your anchor.
Oh, your anchor. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You throw out your anchor. You know what I like to do to keep my podcast steady and just sturdy while everything else seems to be rocky and wavy around me?
Not oars, right?
Not oars. It's Anchor again.
Oh, okay.
That's right. Anchor.fm. Let me explain. This app is free, completely free to host your podcast on.
Like 100% free?
100% free. And you get unlimited storage for all your episodes.
Unlimited?
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
As Russell Wilson would say.
Yes.
That's right. It's also got creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer.
Well, I'm all about that.
I know. And it also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on the likes of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of them.
What's not to like?
It's great. You can even make money from your podcast, Alex.
And we're all about that.
And you don't need minimum listenership. So,
that's good.
That's a real good thing. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. You need to download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
I'm getting right on it right now.
Keep your boat and your podcast sturdy.